Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're cutting right through the marketing noise of the AI chip war.
We're focusing on that core battle, aren't we? NVIDIA's CUDA versus AMD's ROCm.
Exactly. And our mission is to unpack this paradox. Why does NVIDIA still hold, a 90% market share? Their gross margins are reportedly around 80%, yet AMD is often putting out hardware that is, on paper, cheaper and technically faster.
It's really the classic tech story. The specs mean absolutely nothing if the software can't unlock that potential.
It's like having a race car with bicycle wheels.
That's a perfect way to put it. You're not going anywhere fast.
Okay, so let's start with those hardware numbers because you have to admit AMD's pitch is incredibly tempting.
Oh, absolutely. The raw silicon advantage is there. If you look at their top-end chip, the MI300X, it's pushing 1,300 T-flops.
Which is a full 32% more than NVIDIA's H100 at 990 T-flops. That's not a small difference.
That's a huge difference. And it gets even more dramatic for, a home user or a small researcher.
Right. An AMD RX 7900 XTX will set you back about $1,300. A comparable NVIDIA 4090, you're looking at closer to $3,000.
So you're saving more than half. That's the bait.
But this is where it all starts to fall apart, right? The
That's where you run straight into the software problem. ROCm is open source. It supports things like PyTorch and TensorFlow, but getting it to work is the real challenge.
The friction is just immense. We're talking about needing deep Linux expertise, manually modifying the kernel, the core of the operating system, just to get started.
Yeah, you're not just downloading an app.
Not at all. With CUDA, it feels like a smartphone app. You install it, it works.
And that gap is very real. Semi-analysis, when they looked into it, said that trying to do AI training out of the box on AMD hardware was, and I'm quoting here, impossible.
Impossible, not just difficult. And the user stories we found? They're pretty concerning.
Oh, the stability issues.
We saw verified reports of system crashes, segmentation faults.
Yeah.
Really catastrophic software failure.
And it gets worse.
One developer even reported that their whole system got so corrupted that playing a regular Steam game dropped to 1 frame per second.
Think about that.
Yeah.
The tool that's supposed to accelerate your AI work ends up crippling your entire PC. It just shows the gap.
A gap created by nearly 2 decades of NVIDIA working on CUD.
It's an unreplicable ecosystem. That's the real moat.
If you're a CUD user and you hit a bug, what do? You Google it.
And you find a fix. Probably from Google itself or another developer. But
Yeah.
ROCm, you're often on your own, just digging through source code.
Which brings us to that wild anecdote about TensorWave.
That story is it says everything. They're a customer. They buy AMD cards.
And then they have to rent their own GPUs back to AMD's engineers for free.
So AMD can debug its own product.
Yeah.
On a paying customer's dime.
It's unbelievable.
And this all shows up when you scale up. The benchmarks are clear. Once you get to, say, 8 GPUs in a real production environment, NVIDIA just pulls away.
How far away?
It's outperforming AMD by 60 to 78% consistently. That shows you the software premium isn't just for convenience. It's for raw performance where it counts.
So what's the final verdict for someone listening? ROCm can save you a lot of money.
It can. And for simpler tasks, like inference, it might work, but you have to be a Linux wizard and ready to spend a lot of time debugging.
But for anyone doing serious AI training or running the stuff in production,
For now, the NVIDIA premium is pretty much unavoidable. It proves that the numbers on the box are meaningless if the software can't deliver on them.
which leads us to our final provocative thought. In the long run, do you think the open source community and the ideal of freedom can eventually close this gap?
You mean, will the collective effort outweigh the inertia of a massive established ecosystem?
Exactly. Or has the UDA gap just become a permanent strategic advantage that no one can realistically overcome?
That's the billion-dollar question.
Keep questioning everything. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.